are here for, you know this is my favorite night of the week. It's Over 50 and Fabulous Friday, and while we just had an incredible show from 8 to 9, including our today's special value, which is still available, but just for a little while, with somebody right here. This is really my favorite part, because you know why? We get to sit for a full hour with an iconic 50-plus woman, take off our shoes, get cozy, talk to you. So if you are watching on QVC.com or QVC's Facebook, Katie's here. Katie, everyone, can we have a little round of applause for Miss Katie in the house? Where is she? Is she on the screen? Where are you? Are you coming? There you are. There's Katie. But wait, and people are saying, wait a minute, that's not Ebony. Not today, honey. Ebony, sorry, boo. You out and Miss Katie's in. Just kidding. But no, really, Katie's here. And so she's going to be giving us also, by the way, my earpiece, for whatever reason, is not working. So Katie is going to interject at all times if Mike, Z, or Chris has anything to say to me, right? Yep. Thumbs up. Okay, awesome. So it's a party tonight. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us. As you know, Over 50 and Fabulous is not just a show. It's a community. It's a family. It's where we all want to come together and create something where we can lift each other up, love each other, and realize that being over 50 is not the death sentence that society sometimes makes it feel like it is. This is where it all begins. This is where all the good stuff happens. So get ready, because as we know, we've talked about it all night. I have the best guest. I have an amazing guest, someone who I love so much and have known for many, many years. Can we have a round of applause, everyone, for the one, the only, Jill Bauer? Yay!
Hi, everybody.
Jilly, hi.
Hi,
how are you? I know. We've been together on the front. Get ready. I know. Jill, are you nervous?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Well, don't say that.
No.
Because you know I always see that as my...
As your opportunity. If you feel a pinch, that means no, off limits. But really, I'm here. I'm here to hang out with all of you. I'm here to share and celebrate in this incredible friendship and you know, girlhood that you have created for women who are doing amazing things, no matter what their age.
That's right.
But especially being able to do that when you're in sort of a different phase of your life.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, and you have such an amazing journey. You know, there's a lot of things. I'm taking off my shoes.
Yeah,
we all know.
Too.
I know she has her slippers.
There's my slippers right there. I wore them all day. Now they're off.
Yeah, they're off. We're done. But that's what this is all about. So, okay, so Meg is saying, Jill, you're her favorite, always keeping it real.
Hey,
it's so
thank
sweet.
you.
She really is. She is always keeping it real. Iris, oh, wow, you're quick with the type. You're quicker than Ebony in the typing, just so you know. Okay?
Thanks, Iris.
She's coming. Iris says Jill is the best. She sure is.
Thank you.
So, okay, so there's a couple things that I know our viewers definitely want to know about. Things like how you came to QVC, and, you know, obviously we love to talk about your dogs and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go through stuff.
Puppy updates.
Puppy updates. In a little while, though, I want to jump. We all know that we do our favorite thing called Fabulous Flashbacks. Yeah. And I know that you have officially won for the guest who has given us the most pictures.
Well, I didn't know, like, there's so many facets. I wasn't quite sure what you would like.
So we're starting early.
So we're gonna see them throughout the show.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
And that's little Jill.
That's little Jill. Okay, so
my dolly that I named my favorite baby.
Oh.
But she must have not have been too favorite because I pulled all her hair out.
You're like, you're the worst. Oh my gosh.
There's my daddy.
Oh, your
my sweet dad. Yeah.
You're so sweet.
I was
Who
a
is
daddy's
very
girl.
Yeah, and you're very near and dear. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yes. Every year on his birthday.
Yes,
Every year on his birthday.
Remember.
He was fantastic. Okay, so I love this picture. Can I just say?
We have to go slow because I like to hear
the stories.
The stories behind. So let's get to it. First of all, you look exactly the same.
Okay, first of all, my mom made that dress.
No.
And second of all, do I look like a newscaster in training or what? I've got the globe over my one shoulder. I'm at the anchor desk, ready to deliver the news from Little Beaver Kindergarten.
You look like Peter Jennings is to your left. Yes, Peter. What else is happening? I love it. You're so cute. Okay.
Okay, so this
oh my
is-
God, I had that preppy handbook.
Oh, I was obsessed with
Me
the Preppy
too.
Handbook.
Me
And then I
too.
found out when I was older, like it was a joke. Like it was really like a parody, and I took it seriously.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
really
oh, was
thought
it a
like
joke?
all these things in
Me
it were like
too.
what you were supposed to
Hold
do to
on.
be preppy and fabulous.
Hold up. Wait a minute. It's not. It
It was
wasn't
a little
real.
bit of a spoof.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real thing.
But I
too.
loved it. That's me in high school. I was actually voted, like, you know, with a couple of other people, like most preppy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there
that
I
was the
am in
thing.
my monogram sweater and my, look how much hair I have in my bangs.
I mean, I love.
What is that?
You're the cutest.
It's a bird's nest.
I have a question. How old are you?
56.
56. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, is that your
so
boyfriend?
this is like a viral picture. This is me and Will Ferrell.
I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that
Will and I grew up
cute?
together, you know, so before he was Buddy the Elf,
Yes.
he was a friend of mine in high school. This was, I think, we were both in college, and, you know, he was always a fun guy.
Wait, I have a question. What's
Yeah.
in the cup?
Orange juice.
No.
Probably mixed with something else. I don't know.
I kind of think he looks like he has a crush on you.
No, we were always great friends.
Was he funny?
Very funny. And the last time that I had any interaction with him was when he was at Saturday Night Live. Actually, there was somebody who came here at QVC who was one of the like costume designers.
Yeah.
And I happened to say to him, hey, like Will Ferrell, who just started there, is a friend of mine from high school. Tell him that I said hi. And Will called me when he was there, and we
Stop.
talked a little bit. We were going to try to get together, and then he ended up moving back home to LA because his film career just took off.
You
So, you know, it's not somebody that I have his number in my phone or anything, but some really fun memories of
That's so
him.
sweet.
He was a good guy, really good guy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And your skin is glowing. And I'm going to tell you something.
know.
Your skin looks the same.
You know, I think I have my grandmother's skin.
You really
She
do.
always slept on a satin pillowcase.
I sleep on a satin.
So I do too now. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something, girl. We'll talk about it.
Well,
but
I take
your
care of
skin
it.
is gorgeous.
I take care of it.
Yeah,
you know,
do.
I take care of it. So there's me as a news anchor. That's my friend Mike. He was the sports anchor.
Mike's got a
And,
killer mustache.
Right? There's a little Ron Burgundy vibe going on there, I think. Stay classy, West Lafayette, Indiana. So my first job in TV was in West Lafayette, Indiana. I mean, out of 200 television markets, it's like market 192. I mean, tiny. But believe it or not, I was the weekend anchor, and then I was the crime beat reporter.
Really?
So like I would go out, you know, on, you know, I loved covering the, you know, different murder trials, crime investigations. But it's funny because I used to go out on like drug busts, you know, like I get to go out on the helicopters. But there I was, preppy little
I
Jill
was
Bauer
gonna
with
say.
my Judy and Burke bag, you know. Quietly
drug
going
bust.
behind the Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Department as they were going to raid a trailer for drugs.
That's
you know?
hilarious.
But I had some great experiences, and that was really my first start in the TV biz.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing. Jennifer said Mike has good hair.
yeah, I'll tell him
Yeah,
that. He'll get
yeah,
a kick out
for
of that.
sure.
Yeah, we're
Love
still
it.
friends.
Love
So
that.
fun. Yeah.
Oh.
And so that's me the day I pulled out of my grandparents' driveway. What was cool was my job in Lafayette, Indiana was about an hour from my grandparents' farm. And so I had grown up going to that farm in the summers. And so I would, you know, hang out at my grandparents all the time. And that's the day I packed up my car and drove to Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Stop it.
To begin my life as a host at QVC.
Stop it.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
Wait, how old were you there?
I was 25.
25 years
Yeah,
old.
when I was hired, I was the youngest host that QVC had hired.
Get out
Yeah.
of town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, soon to be best friends with Mike Z.
Soon to be friends with Mike Z.
There you
yes,
go.
that's a fun story.
That
we can talk
is
about that.
so cute.
So
Oh
I mean,
my
that was a
gosh.
girl who had a dream. You
Look
know,
at that.
I
You
went
can
for
see
it.
I love
I went
that.
for it.
Yep,
right?
and you're still doing
and
it.
still trying.
That's
yeah.
right. Nicola says, Jill, you look the same.
Oh well, thank you.
It's true. Oh.
So this is my grandfather. I was very close to my grandparents in Indiana. Obviously, my wedding day, he came through the aisle or the greeting line, and I just adored him. He lived to be almost 100 years old.
God bless.
He farmed until he was in his 90s.
Oh my
And I at his funeral I gave his eulogy,
my
and I called him a superhero
Yeah.
because he just had these. I said, and his power to make things disappear was that there was never an empty plate. Or there was always an empty plate, you know, after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But he was my Grandpa Metzger. I just adored him. He was offered a contract to play ball with the White Sox.
Wow.
He turned it down because he didn't think it was the right life to take his family on the road. So he played in a local league, and during World War II, Ted Williams, the famous Boston Red Sox, you know, player, he was playing with the traveling league while he was serving, and they both played the same position. My grandfather played his team, and they had the exact same number of hits that day. They played the same position, but Ted Williams had an error, and my grandfather did not.
Wow.
So he used to always love to tell that story, that he wondered how Ted Williams could make $100,000 a year making errors like that.
That's amazing. I see the sassafras doesn't fall far from the tree. I see. Oh, look at
so
those.
that's my husband, Doug. You know, and you know, we actually met because Maria McCool set us up.
Stop it.
So that's, you know, that's a fun story.
Maria McCool set you up.
Ask your hairdressers, ladies.
Yeah, hello. There you go.
So we got married in October because I wanted to see the colors of the season.
Yeah, you could tell. So beautiful.
Yeah, that was 2003. So we've been married for a long time.
That's beautiful. My goodness. Yeah, this is really, they want to know, where in Indiana are you from?
Well, I'm not from Indiana, but
your
my grandparents lived in Rochester, Indiana.
Yeah.
And that's where my mom was born and raised. And I have, you know, cousins and aunts and uncles all throughout the state. But, you know, I grew up in Southern California. But my parents, when I was 8 years old, put me on a plane by myself.
What?
And sent me out to Indiana. And I was supposed to spend 2 weeks there at my grandparents' farm. Well, I called 2 weeks in and said, can I stay longer? Aww. And then after another week and a half, I called and said, can I stay longer? And I ended up staying like 8 weeks in Indiana. Yeah, spending time with my grandparents, which I love.
Great.
Yeah.
Who is this?
This is my bestie. Like, if you want somebody who knows Jill.
Yeah.
Before Jill was Jill.
Oh, my
That's
gosh.
Emily. We've been friends since we were 8 years old. Our moms were great friends. Her mom recently just passed away, and it was like I lost my mom too. You know, Mrs. Miles was really special to me. Our dads met when they were taking classes at Pepperdine, and so our whole families were just, you know, great friends. But she's my ride or die. I can count on her for anything. I admire her so much.
That
She's
is great.
really, really special. We have some fun. There are like belly laugh.
I was gonna say,
maybe pee in your pants a little bit moments with her.
I bet.
You know, through the years. 50 years almost we've been friends.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, could I have her number? Because I want all the
She's
tea.
amazing. She's an author. She was actually on QVC. Some of you might remember that. She had a book called, oh, good Lord. This is the worst part about being older. You can't remember things.
I know.
It's a chick thing. And it was a New York Times bestseller. I contributed to, I did a couple articles and recipes in it for her. But she was on QVC and her book sold out a couple of times.
Wow.
Isn't that fun? Yeah.
Did you
some of
present
might
it
remember
with her?
her? I did, of course.
Of course.
She was
That's
in
the
Your
best.
Home with Jill, right?
Oh,
You can't be
my.
home with Jill without Jill's best friend.
That is so
So she was
cute.
there. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Donna's wondering how you knew Maria McCool.
Well, I met Maria. Maria was one of the very first people that I met when I moved to QVC.
Yes.
Moved to Westchester from Indiana. So at that time, she was sort of the hairdresser to the QVC hosts.
Oh,
so
yes.
So that's how I met Maria, and we just became very good friends. So
That's great.
we still are very good friends to this day.
Yes.
So,
and she does your hair.
And she does my hair.
Because it looks great.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
That's my daughter Kylie. You know, technically Kylie is my stepdaughter, but I've raised her, you know, helped to raise her since she was, I think I met her when she was 8.5 months old.
Oh my God.
So she is my dear heart. I adore her. We're very lucky to have a wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
You know, she has a lot of people who love her. She works for me and does some stuff for me,
Isn't
you know, with
that
some of my
great?
side ventures. And
That's so great.
So that's
JessJill.com.
my sweet Kylie. Yeah.
She is beautiful.
Yeah.
She has a beautiful life.
Oh, she's so fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
I
really
love-
come into her own. I'm very proud of her. Fun story about Kylie. Can I just tell you real quick?
Oh.
That's Trevor. But
What?
Fun story about, let me just tell you the story about
Okay.
Kylie. So
Yeah.
Kylie went to the University of Missouri, which is also my alma mater.
Yes.
She majored in strategic communications. And so she graduated. She was a very good student, you know, did her thing. She was, you know, very focused and all these things. So she gets her diploma and she says, Mom, can you just tell me, like, what do these words mean on my diploma? magna cum laude.
Shut
She
up.
graduated like with the highest honors.
And she didn't
even know what it was.
That's
She didn't even know what it was.
hilarious.
But that's kind of Kylie. You know, she just does her thing.
Isn't
And
that
yes,
great?
that's my son Trevor.
He'll
He'll be 20 this year.
Shut the front
He'll
door.
be 20 this year, and he'll.
He's gorgeous.
He's a freshman in college and living his best life.
He looks like Jason Bateman.
Oh, I kind of see that a little
You
bit.
see it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's my mama.
Aww.
And we're actually at an exhibit there for the Little League World Series. My dad, when my dad died, I wanted to raise money to donate to something in his name. Well, my dad's happiest memory, I don't think he had a particularly happy childhood. He didn't talk to me a lot about it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that always made him smile was when he told the story of how he hit a home run at the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And so that photo that you see in the right, in the black and white, that's my dad crossing home plate.
No way.
After hitting that ball. And so I held some fundraisers, and we were able to donate $50,000 to Little League International, and they named one of the exhibits there after my dad.
That's amazing.
So if you ever go to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, go to the 7th inning, and that Richard Bauer Jr. photography exhibit is my dad. It's named after my dad.
Oh, you are cool. You really are.
I don't know about that, but
Yes, that is so great.
it was important to us, and something
Yes.
that lives on, and hopefully for many, many, many decades.
Yes, and he is smiling, honey, from heaven. I love that, and your mom is so stylish.
Yeah.
Just Jill.
And that's, what do you do after 25 years as a host?
Yeah.
Well, you pivot, and you pursue an idea that you'd had for many years,
Yes.
and finally got a little, boost from God to go for it.
Yeah.
And answer the question, well, why not me?
I love that because, oh, hi, sorry.
Hi.
We were talking and we were all, you got to warn us.
You don't have to warn us.
We were all, I know, we're all like, I'm so cozy. I want to talk about that. Couple quick things. First of all,
Yes.
Anne remembers when Trevor was born.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
I know, right?
Wait, hold on. I got to tell this story very quickly because this has to do with Trevor and Jill and me. So March 5th, 2005 was the debut Mally Beauty show.
Oh my gosh, I remember this
It
now.
was a Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern
oh my
time.
gosh. Yes.
Friday, I'm very excited. I'm ready to go. I had a dream host. I was ready to do it. It was all going to be perfect because my host for my debut show was Jill Bauer on March 5th, 2000.
May 5th. May 5th. Yeah.
It was March.
No, he was born in May.
No, he wasn't born yet. Because
What happened?
you called me the day before and they had put you on bed rest and you couldn't get out of bed.
Oh,
You
right.
had to rest. So it ended up being Patty Riley.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
was
remember
like,
Patty?
yes, right. But I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I
Oh
was
my
so
gosh,
ready.
I remember that
Yeah.
now. Like I was
or
supposed
you
to
were
be your host,
sick, or
and then
you
I
were
call
something.
you or something.
Yeah, you called me to tell me.
and said I can't do it.
I know.
I'm
and
so sorry.
I
I can't do it.
I know, and I was so sad. But we
Oh.
obviously it was just you had to take care of your baby.
Yes.
And all was well, and everyone was fine. But that was the thing. So Trevor's always in my brain, like Trevor. Look what you did. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Beth says, Jill, you are so down to earth. She absolutely is.
That's nice.
She
Well, I
absolutely
don't, I don't know how to be anything else.
No,
I think that's always sort of been,
Yeah.
if there's a hallmark of who I am, it's just I just am who I am.
Yes.
And I try to live a life that's filled with kindness and purpose. And listen, I can be all business. I think for many years, I think people thought I was more stern than I really was, but it was
Really?
more because I'm very focused.
Yes.
And what I found over the age of 50 is I was diagnosed with ADHD.
Really?
And I think that had a lot of impact sometimes on the way I might have been perceived because there's this hyper focus that has to happen with people who have ADHD.
Yes.
And I think that's why I was really good at this job.
Yes.
Because I could come in and I could take all this chaos
Yeah.
and hyper focus and do it for 4 hours.
Yes.
And then I'd get out of here and it was all back in the ether again. Wow. But I just, I've never tried to be anything I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never tried to, pass myself off as something. I'm just Jill.
Just Jill.
And that's really what it's always been about for me.
Hey, can I ask a question? How were you diagnosed? Did you say, because, you know, I have a daughter who is on the spectrum, has ADHD. I mean, her whole life, we just knew there was something, you know, and I talk about it, and trust me, she talks about it. She is like the autism poster child. She's like, yeah, flying that flag, honey. And also uses it at times like, I don't really know if I could put away the laundry, because people with autism sometimes have problems with that. I'm like, oh, really? Exactly. So, but anyway, but yeah.
Get your hyper focus on, girl.
Exactly. So how did you, was that something that you were like, you know, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Many women now over the age of 50 are realizing that that's
what it is.
How did you find that out?
Well, Kylie has ADHD, so I had, you know, watched her, you know, from a parent to a child, you know, watching the things that she was struggling with, and you know, getting her on the path. We did use medication with her when she was in high school, or really, not elementary school, middle school, and it was very helpful for her. She, again, was very diligent and learned techniques where by the time she got into high school, she didn't need the medication anymore, and she really understood what she needed to do and hacks that she needed to keep herself on track. Well, kind of watching those things, I also realized there's a lot of me there, you know? And then I also realized things like, I keep a clean house, but it's cluttered. But I don't see it. I don't see it until Doug would take a picture and be like, babe. And I'd be like, oh my God, is that our room? I just didn't see it. I could exist in it. I could live in it. And there might be, you know, stuff all over the kitchen table. And I knew where the you know, Comcast bill was. But nobody else in a million years would know that it was under 5 stacks, a Kleenex box, and a lip gloss.
Right.
So it kind of just got to the point when I was away from QVC then and didn't have a place to focus all of that, it really kind of started to blow up a little bit. Like I was realizing, like, I am all over the place. Like, could this be? So I had an appointment with a psychiatrist who did a evaluation, and they said, Wow.
And
then and it gave me such insight, Melly, because now I realized, like, when I was in high school, school, if I'd known this, school wouldn't have been so hard. I mean, I was a good student. I'm a rule follower. I did all the things. I was lucky I did not have traumatic teenage years, you know? You know, I was popular. I was voted this, that. I played sports. I was homecoming, whatever. That doesn't mean anything, but I was positive in my experience. But school learning and staying focused in class and hearing and writing, like I didn't know how to teach myself. I didn't know how to learn. And that's been really insightful. And I've really learned a lot about the hyper-focused part, that I do that a lot. You know, Doug says to me a lot, like, boy, like you grind, especially with Just Jill and getting that and learning how to do those things. You know, you really grind, Jill. But it's more a matter of I get in this hyper-focused tunnel, right? And that's where I'm existing, and that's where it's all happening, so that all these other things don't distract me. Because if I let them distract me, it is like the joke, right, about people with ADHD, butterfly, right? You know, you can just like, you get distracted very easily. But I work on it. You know, I go to therapy. I try to learn skills because I want to be a better spouse. I want to be a better mom for my kids so that I can stay focused with them. And I want to be a better Jill. Right? I want to be a better Jill so that I can really just enjoy my life and not be stressed about things I shouldn't be stressing about.
Wow, guys, this is huge. This is amazing. And if you're watching, which again, I know you love Jill, and it's so cool, right? You're watching someone that you've known for 30 years or 25 years, right? And you are watching her, not right now, but literally you're seeing her go through something in real time, basically, about herself. And if there's anything that we love to do here more than anything, it's to encourage you. If you're feeling the way maybe Jilly was feeling, like, what's going on? You're over 50. Who cares? These are the reasons, and you have the time now. Like you said, you stepped away from QVC, so you had a moment to kind of like go like, okay, what's going on?
I didn't have that. I didn't realize, even though my schedule here was all over the place, you know, I never really had like an In the Kitchen with David where he knows he works every Wednesday, Sunday. I never had that. I worked different hours, different days, but I didn't realize that that was still structure for me. And when I no longer had that, it's kind of like, you know, all hell broke loose in my brain. Even little things like I need time to transition from one thing to the next. If I'm leaving home and even like going to Callista to get my hair cut, I've got to sit in the parking lot for a few minutes to kind of just like, all right, so let me just think about what I'm doing here. All right, and then let me go in, right? After a long day here at QVC, I would sit in my dressing room for a good hour because I needed to come down from being here before I could go home. So, and those are all very common things with ADHD that now I've learned about and I embrace it. And,
That's right.
And so, you know, it's okay. Here's the thing that I've learned. Life is this classroom, right? And we're all students in it. And I think in the first part of your life, you know, you take a lot of tests, and some of them you ace and some of them you flunk. And the opportunity is to learn from that so that, not so you can do over, but so that you can do better. And that's where I feel like I am with the ADHD. It's just learning these things and knowing it's okay. It gives me insight. It gives Doug insight. Because he realizes, oh, she's not doing it to drive me crazy. Like, she just doesn't see it, you know? So how do we learn together so that he can be supportive without losing his mind? Because he likes things very ordered and neat. And I'm like, you should see me in the kitchen. It's Tornado Jill, right? But it's like leaving the cabinet door open. I just don't see it. Leaving a drawer open, I don't see it. But now I'm making sure, okay, before I walk away from a space, look back. Did I take care of everything? Okay, great. Now the house looks neat again.
Isn't that great?
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And just because we're getting older, and you know, oftentimes here at Over 50 and Fabulous, we really do try to embrace our superpowers that we have. And Eva's saying, these sessions are always so helpful for us, and it really is.
I'm glad. I hope that helps somebody.
1,000%.
I mean, I've been very open about it. I do talk about it. You know, I probably should talk about it a little bit more.
You probably should.
Because there might be other people who are like, gosh, could that be me? Or I've been diagnosed too, so how do you handle X, Y, or Z?
That's right.
You know?
Well, and I love the fact, in all honesty, that the world is opening up to these conversations now so freely. I mean, again, when we were in, you know, now you think back, like, I remember, you know, again, having a daughter that's on the spectrum and the ADHD and all that stuff. I remember, and I won't say your names in case you're watching, but I remember in 4th grade looking at that kid and going, what is wrong with him? Like, you know what I mean? But what we now know is there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the way your brain works. And that is so freeing. And I love the fact that if you're watching, you're over 50 most likely. It's okay to look back at your life and say, okay, now it all makes sense. Now,
like you said, it's your brain just works different. So that's okay. Let's figure out the tools and strategies you need that allow you to be better with the way your brain works as you're going through your home life, your work life, your relationships, whatever it might be.
You really ought to make this part of your Just Jill conversations. Now, I know that you obviously, which if people are watching and they're like, what is Just Jill? You want to tell everyone what it is, but in that, this is very important. So maybe you have, you know, when you go live, maybe on, you know, Wednesdays or whatever, make it, you know, where you talk
more about
things.
it.
I think that would help people so much.
Thank you.
Or
that's nice encouragement.
Maybe write a book, like Mike Z just said in my ear. Or write a book.
I've been working on a cookbook since I was 22. I'm 56.
You know,
I've been busy.
Did you know I make your clam chowder all the time?
You do?
I do.
I didn't know that.
I do.
Isn't it good?
It's so good.
It's so
There's
good.
some in my refrigerator right now.
Oh my gosh,
Phil had it for
I
lunch.
love that.
Yeah.
You should try my vegetable beef soup. That's a really good one too.
Is it great?
It's delicious.
I am
it's
obsessed
really
with
good.
it. I found that recipe, and when you started your website, and I was like, oh, snap. Francis is wondering, what is Just Jill?
So what is Just Jill? Well, Just Jill is a concept that I actually had when I was here at QVC.
Okay.
In 2012, I bought the domain. So again, and I think, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but I think I saw something.
Yeah.
I had a vision for something that I just didn't know how to execute it.
Yeah.
But my idea was to do this justjill.com and have it be like a magazine style website where I could share recipes and do blogs and, you know, have guest people write in, whatever it might be. And so I had, you know, Doug and I kind of went down the path. We had somebody design a logo. Like, it was really at that time a conversation that I might leave QVC and pursue this Just Jill. This is in 2012. And then Doug looked at me one day and he said, hey, hun, how do we make money with this? Like, it was like, oh, I'm going to have a recipe page and I'm going to have Just Kiddin' with stories about kids. And like, you know, me, the big idea person.
Yes.
Typical ADHD,
Yeah,
right?
thank
Woo!
you.
But how do you execute it? Oh. So we obviously put it on pause. And really about that time, QVC came to me and we started doing the pre-produced, some of you might remember this, Your Home with Jill shows.
Yes.
So it was like, okay, so let me just shelve that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it came time to pivot, and I thought, so why not me create this justjill.com
Why not
where
you?
I can do the blogs, do the recipes, and the fun of it for me in the beginning, Mally, is I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I taught myself on YouTube. I built our first website.
Wow.
You know, I took photos of all of the things. I'm in this like influencer space, and I'm double the age of most of the people doing it.
Yeah.
But again, it was like, well, why not me? Because there are women like me who are moms, who are busy, who want good food, who like to decorate, and maybe they'd like to have like that girl next door friend experience of people who might be able to help them. So justjill.com is all of those things. We have recipes. We get, you know, about 100 to 150,000 views and visitors a month to our blog.
Wow.
There's recipes. There's, you know, home cleaning tips. It's really kind of a lot of what I did with Your Home with Jill.
Yeah.
You know, that was always influenced there, and it's turned into like this really lovely, fun little business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And, you know, to your point, by the way, Dawn would love to have more convos about ADHD on Over 50. Absolutely, we can do that.
Aw.
And Jill definitely is going to do it. Eva said she loved Your Home with Jill.
Oh, I love that show too.
Yeah, it was
that was my joy.
Yeah.
And that's really what kept me sane here at QVC.
Yeah,
That show is where I could really harness my creative energy.
Yeah.
And you know, Mike, who's here, he worked on the show with me too a lot. And
Mike.
like we really had, it was a really special thing. And you know, now with all this streaming, like we were doing that. We used to do pre-produced shows and put them up. We would do these beautiful Martha Stewart-esque episodes, and you could find them on QVC. Like, we were doing it.
Wow.
And you know, the whole story of Your Home with Jill was I proposed it for 3 years before management said yes. I actually went over, again, why not me? Why can't I do this show? And I actually went over my then boss's head to his boss, and I said, I'm getting no response for this show. Here's what I want to do, like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he said, I like it, but I want to put it in front of a test audience because it's a little different than anything we've done before. Because at that time, QVC only sold products from behind a table.
Yeah.
And I wanted to walk around a home set and show you how to use the products. I wanted to create a room and then point out all the things that you could buy if you wanted to decorate your room like that. And at that time, that was like unheard of. So it had to go in front of a test audience.
What?
And then it got approved, and then we finally launched it, you know, in August of 2020. And it became like this, you know, really lovely, I'd like to think beloved show.
Yes.
Of you know, Just Jill.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is so amazing.
So don't take no for an answer. If you believe in it, take that passion and fight for it. Because if you love it, that means you believe in it. That means you're going to work hard to make it happen. And why not you? Why not you? Why can't it be you to be the person that starts something new or changes something? And it cracks me up because now, you know, everything at QVC is they want to have movement. They want you to walk to the product.
There you go.
Did you try it in front of a test audience?
Oh.
We did it with Jill.
Wow. And you know what? Here's another thing that I want to say. Yes, preach is right. Here's what I'm going to say. Oh, Iris just downloaded the clam chowder recipe.
Oh, it's so good, Iris. Enjoy it.
Oh,
so good.
It's
delicious.
So good. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so so Jill, first of all, you're so
I'm all over the
amazing.
place.
No, you're so amazing and I want to talk about two things.
Yes.
Two very
We'll stay
important.
focused.
Well, you said them, and I want to reiterate them for you guys because again, this show is all about a community, loving each other, helping each other to lift each other up.
Yeah.
So I love this because you just said two things that are very important for all of you watching because maybe you are in a time of pivot in your life. Maybe you are at a time of maybe thinking that there's something more for you. Or maybe you're at a time where you're like, I just need something new to do. Number one, just because you're over 50, listen, don't get me freaking started because this is where I start to get mad. People will overlook you because of your age. However, who has more wisdom and more experience and more badassery than you?
Yeah.
No one. So that's where I start to get a little pissed because everyone's like, oh, we're looking for someone a little younger. What can someone a little younger tell you about moving around a set and testing it before all that?
Yeah.
No one. Jill can tell you because she did it, okay? So that's number one. So, yes, why not you? She fought for something. She got it. It was successful. So, number one, yes, why not you? If you're feeling it, do it.
Yes.
If you're feeling it, fight for it. If you're feeling it, go for it.
Yep.
And then the other two, which I love, the other thing that you said that I love, is toot your own damn horn. Okay, that's another thing. I'm so tired of women, especially our age, going like, oh, no.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
no. Thank
Like
you.
That's
but,
not appropriate.
Right. Or just like, or even just like, oh, I could never say, oh, hell yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
You know what? Tell people when you did it, because ain't nobody gonna toot your horn, except for you.
Right.
So you tooted it.
I did.
And good for you.
I tooted.
Which I love. And yes, and take that credit and run with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm sure you sit back sometimes and think about your career here. Wait, because that was the longest job you had.
It was.
Obviously.
It was only my second job ever.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But I bet you have moments where you're like, you know what? I did that. And
I did
it great.
Yeah. And you know, I think that whole idea of why not me?
Yeah.
And why not you?
Yeah.
You know, that really that's been a fire in me always. You know, it really has, you know?
Yeah.
I think my dad instilled that in me, you know? And it's that idea of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Take your shot.
Oh, I just got chills.
You know? And that's what my dad said to me when I had the opportunity to audition here at QVC. You know, I started to be interested in working at QVC because I was dating someone at the time who got a job here. And then
romance in the office.
And I was still in Indiana. And so I came out and I went through. I came out and. No, I called to see about auditions. And they said, yes, we're doing them on this date. And I said, well, do you fly people in? And they said, no, you need to cover your expenses. Well, I was working in small market television. I think I was making $14,000 a year. I had a $1,000 credit limit on my visa. And if I was going to book a flight to come out here and rent a car, it was going to cost me like $917. Whoa. I was going to max out my card.
Whoa.
So I called my dad. And I said, like, I have this opportunity to go try out, you know, for QVC, and, you know, but if I do this, you know, and I spend all this money, and what if I do all of this and I don't get it? And he was quiet for a second, and he said, and you know what, kid? What if you do? What if you get it? Take your shot. So I called, I charged $917 on my $1,000 credit limit visa. I came out, auditioned with 500 people. They narrowed it to 6. I was one of the 6.
Oh my God.
They narrowed it to 2. I was one of the 2. And then I didn't get offered the job.
What?
And so I was heartbroken. They thought I was too young.
Oh,
They thought I was too young and that I
shoot.
wouldn't be able to connect with the customer. And so, okay, bummer. In the meantime, broke up with the boyfriend, right? And then out of nowhere, I get a call from QVC.
Yeah.
And they had a change in management, and somebody had seen my tape, and Frank DeVici, who's at work, Frank, had kept my tape, which I always thought was a little creepy. I should ask him about that. But he kept my tape for whatever reason. It was on his desk of people who'd auditioned, and they showed it to the new guy, who was Jack Comstock.
Jack Comstock.
And they called and said, can you fly out for an audition? We'll pay for you to come. So I flew out, I auditioned, and by the time I got home that night on my answering machine, I had a job offer.
Oh.
And then I ran into the old boyfriend,
Yeah.
and I was very happy to say to him, I took this job for me this time.
Oh.
Because otherwise I was doing it because of him.
Oh.
So I did it for
my
myself.
God.
I did it for myself.
Wow, Jill, you
And it
need
was
to
just
write a book.
it was the greatest journey of my life.
That is so...
I was able to travel the world and meet people and have experiences that this little country mouse would have never imagined.
Oh my
You know, I got
God.
to fulfill my dream of doing sports. I wanted to be a sports anchor, but was told you're a girl. Girls don't do that. You know, now women are all over the sports field, but back in the 80s, that wasn't happening, right? So, you know, I came here, and again, why not me? I went to management. I'm like, I love sports. I won awards for sports writing. Like, I know you don't score a touchdown in baseball, okay? So, can I interview some of these sports people, because they were doing all kinds of like sports collectibles and whatever. So I got to go to the NBA All-Star team and meet Magic Johnson, like my idol growing up. I wore a number 32 Lakers jersey, you know? I mean, I got to go to the Super Bowl and, you know, talk to Joe Namath. I got to do like I worked with Hank Aaron, like all of these incredible sports experiences that just filled that bucket for me, and was able to prove to somebody, myself, I can do this. I'm good enough to do it.
Oh my God, Jill, this is amazing. It's so good.
I mean, it's been a life.
It's been a life.
It's been a life.
And it's just
And
beginning.
there have been hard moments too.
Of course.
You know,
of
I mean,
course.
I lived my life very publicly when I was on QVC.
I
I had a miscarriage that many of you shared with me. You know, shared in that with me. I lost my dad. That was very painful. You know, we lost him. He had pancreatic cancer, 6 months from dying. I mean, you know, you lost your mom too. You know, it's an ache that never goes away. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Right? And you still feel it all the time. You still feel it all the time. And you never know when it's going to hit you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
but I'm just grateful I'm here. I love being back here as a guest.
I know.
You know, that fills a part of my bucket that
is it better to be here as a guest because you can leave when you want?
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is?
Oh, we just touched
hi,
feet.
I know,
Sorry.
let's play Fifi. You know what it is for me? I love being back as a guest, and it's just enough for me.
Yeah.
And really, the greatest gift I've found since leaving QVC, at least for me in my life, is I have control of my time back.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I showed up late or you know,
did you get in trouble?
Missed part of Trevor's baseball game. You know, I'd show up in the 3rd inning. Oh, Trevor hit one out in the 2nd. You missed it. You know, like, or I was never there for both breakfast and dinner with my kids.
Yeah.
It was one or the other. So being in control of my time, and I have regrets about that. I won't lie. I do. I've had lots of guilt cries over what I've missed, what I missed. My kids don't think I missed anything.
Right.
But I know I wasn't always there, you know?
Well,
But it's what we do.
it's what you do.
It's what you do.
Louise says she needs coffee mugs and T-shirts with Jill phrases.
Oh, how funny. Oh, that's so nice. And I saw
good.
somebody else ask about being a stepmom. And, you know, I would say, You know, I was in a very lucky situation that Kylie really never knew because she was so young, her mom and dad together. She only knew, you know, her mom's family, and, you know, our neighborhoods are close together. So for transitions and school, you know, it was all very cohesive that way. Not that there weren't bumps, you know, that divorce and kids and all custody is never easy. But I think, you know, it was never my intent to try to take the place of her mom. I just saw myself as I was somebody who Kylie needed in her life. She needed a neutral body. She needed someone who she could count on to be there 100%. I also know that when you are involved with someone who has children, you will be second. You will be second. His kids will come first. I was okay with that. That's just my personality. Like, I'm kind of laid back that way, and I love my husband, and I understood I had this opportunity to participate in raising this beautiful creature, and I embraced it at every turn. And yes, at times it is a thankless job, but now you saw the picture of Kylie and me. We work together every day. We are close friends. I'm still her mom. We take cooking classes together every Wednesday. Like, we just, it has been a marvelous part of my life, and I think that God put Doug in my life so I could have Kylie.
Oh my God, Jill, you make me cry like 6 times already.
I really do. It's really...
You are very, very, and I mean this not like you're an old wise lady, but you are very wise, and you have so much insight. You have so much to share. You have so much. You could tell you've thought about a lot of things. And you're very eloquent in the way that you express them.
Oh, thank you.
You really are.
Thank you. Well, I was always told I talked too much in class when I was a kid.
We all
Did you get
got
that report card too?
Oh yeah, we all got that. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna do our rapid fire.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, fun.
Because that's the thing. And with ADHD,
do you change the questions, or is it always the same?
We do. We change some. We change the questions.
Okay.
Now, some of them we always start with the same one though.
Briefs.
She knew it. Panties or thong?
Panties.
There you go.
High cut with a tummy control from Soma. Fabulous.
Wow, look at her. She's got it all done. She was ready. Morning person or night owl?
Oh, you know what? All my life I was a night owl, but I will say I enjoy, now that we've had the puppies and I've been getting up early, I'm finding I'm really enjoying the quiet of the morning.
Yeah. Nice.
There is a peacefulness there. I'm an only child. I like the quiet alone time. I need to be alone. That recharges me for sure. So that morning quiet, I find enjoyable.
How do you like your eggs, and what does that say about you? I didn't know where that one came from.
Well, my favorite way to do eggs is over medium on avocado toast.
Oh.
And I guess the avocado part means that I'm a California girl through and through.
That's right. Thank you. And very particular, as you can see.
Yes. I don't like them too runny.
Let's see. QVC friend from the beginning that you're still friends with?
David Venable.
Love that. Most memorable QVC moment?
Well, I was the host that was on the air for 9/11.
Stop.
Yep.
Get out.
So I...
Okay, wait. Tell me how that was.
Like, I have goosebumps telling that story, you know?
Gosh. Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Are we running out of time?
We're running out of time, but I want to hear that story, so we're not going to do this. I want to hear that because okay? Is that okay? Okay. All right. Because I was in New York.
Oh,
well, I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version because I want to hear this one. I was in New York. I was getting ready to go key a fashion show. It was Fashion Week. Phil was in the shower. My agent called and he said, hey, and it was an answering machine right back in the day. And he said, hey, turn on your TV. Some crazy drunk guy just flew a plane into the World Trade Center. And I remember I turned on the TV, I sat at the end of the bed. I literally we lived in the West Village. I ran out to the street and I looked up and I watched the tower
Oh my
fall.
God.
So you were on the air?
I was on the air. So I worked 9 to, I guess it was 9 to noon that day. Or maybe it was, I guess it was 9 to noon. And like, sales were weird. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's like, the producer was in my ear saying, like, things are kind of slow, and I think there's something maybe going on in the news, but I didn't know anything. I knew nothing. And then I started to see, like, management coming into the studio, and I'm thinking, am I going to be fired?
Oh my
Like, why is
gosh.
everybody down here? Like, what is going on?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they got in my ear and they said, something's happened in New York. There's a plane that's hit the Trade Center. And so, you know, people are seeing that on the news. You might want to just address it. So that's all they really said to me. So luckily, because I was a news reporter, I could kind of go into that mode. And I said, hey, I just wanted to address the fact that, you know, we're here talking about roses. It was a garden show.
Wow.
But I understand that there's some things that are going on in New York right now. So if you need to get away from us and watch your local station, you know, please feel free to do that. So we kept going on, and then they came back on, and they're like, Jill, now apparently there is a plane that's crashed into the Pentagon.
Oh my God.
And okay, so, you know, I addressed that. And then, oh, now there's another stray plane that's going out there, and now the towers have fallen. So it was like, I kept updating. And so, you know, it was finally, you know, we just went off the air. It was I was in a Denim and Company show, and, you know, basically just said, listen, there is a lot of chaos that's happening right now, and watching QVC is clearly not the place to be. So we're going to sign off, invite you to go check out your local news, and, you know, we'll keep you updated on what we're going to do next. And QVC went off the air for 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, we were off the air for 3 days, and it was, you know, I mean, I
know.
still to this day,
I know.
You're speechless. And then we came back on the air. Doug Briggs, the then president of QVC, called me at home, and he said, I think because you were the one to take us off the air, I would be very proud if you would be the one to bring us back on the air.
Oh my God.
And so Tova Borgnine and I, you know, we were the first show back on the air, and basically, you know, just tried to be a place of comfort. And, you know, and I never thought of myself as a salesperson. So to me, my job was not to go out there and sell Tova's perfume.
No.
My job there was just to be a place of comfort and a soft place for people to land if they needed to get their mind off of what was happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
it was that. I mean, memorable, of course.
Oh my gosh.
And then I also sadly was the one that had to inform our viewers that Joan died. Joan Rivers passed away, and that was, you know, we were very close.
I know.
She really took me under her wing, and I spent holidays with her at times. She invited me to her house for Christmas one year when she knew I was going to be here by myself. She was, you know, very a mentor and just kind. And so, you know, they kind of said, Jill, we really think you should be the one to do this. So, you know, I mean, I was entrusted, and I would like to think it's because you all trusted me too, that I could, you know, give us all a hug and of calmness in those moments that seemed a little perilous. Whew. It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
How are your dogs?
The dogs. The dogs.
We
gotta
got to
change
change the
things?
subject.
All right.
But that's the
Change
thing.
things.
But very quickly though.
But
very
isn't that
quickly,
like the
though,
kind
to
of
your point.
conversations you have with
Yeah,
friends,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that's, you know, it's the highs and the lows. And I've been in a very unique position
really have.
to be in part of, you know, the
Yeah.
QVC customers' lives through many of those.
I know. And that's
Yeah.
amazing. And the fact that they, you know, to your point, trusted you and gave you that opportunity. And, you know, Jill is the right person for this job.
Yeah.
She's the one who can make it all good, which is great. And Lisa says, this is why I watch QVC. It's a family.
It is a family.
It
absolutely is a family.
It's
yeah.
a family. So speaking of family, before we go, because
Yes.
it's very important to talk about, how are the puppies?
Okay, so the puppies, if you didn't know, we've always had Rottweilers, and we lost our last one, the oldest of the four, Broski, May of last year. And I said to my husband, Doug, listen, I think, you know, we lost 3 dogs in 3 years. We've only ever had Rotties. I said, I really think I'd like to take a break for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, we want to refinish the floors. We want to renovate some things in the house. Hey, hon, we could travel. You know?
Yeah.
Well, my son Trevor, our youngest, went off to college, and we became empty nesters, and Doug went off the deep end.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly I walk by his computer, and it's like RottweilerRescue.com. I'm like, So anyway, we ended up getting two, not one, but two Rottweiler puppies. Their names are Kelsey. That is named, yes, after Jason Kelsey, but it's a girl. We thought Kelsey was a cute girl's name.
Oh, that's so cute.
And our others is named Tug, the boy, after Tug McGraw. And so we love our Philly sports, and they are wonderful. It is joyous chaos. The convenient thing for Doug was we brought these puppies home. He kind of forgot you had to potty train them. Get him up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
He was like, I was jumping to when they're 2 and they're romping around the backyard. No. He threw his back out. The first week we brought these puppies home. I'm like harumping around the house with paper towels under one arm and pea spray in the other. Very convenient, Doug.
Thanks.
Spritz. But anyway, they're about 5 months old now. They're already over 50 pounds. They're going to be huge.
My gosh.
But we love them. They're so sweet. They have the most wonderful disposition, and can't imagine life without them already.
Yeah. Isn't that the best?
Yeah,
Who knew you could rescue some Rottweiler puppies? I don't feel you watching. Just kidding. No, we no more dogs for us. No more rescues. We're taking a pause also. So, anyway, Stephanie loves you, Jill.
Oh, thank you,
Jill,
Stephanie.
you have to come
Thanks
back.
Everybody for
and
your
Louise
nice
says
comments.
this has been her favorite live stream guest. Yay.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's
Thank
so
you,
nice.
Louise.
Well, listen, first and foremost, thank you.
Oh,
because,
thank you.
guys, this was her TSV day. And you have 1 hour left to get this beautiful bracelet, which I took off because I was going to steal it if I didn't. It is stunning.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah,
I know. I
you
love
really
it.
did. And it's
love it.
really, really beautiful. And you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
As always.
Thank you. Well, it's the J team. They're a great team to work with.
Well, no, I mean you selling it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
Thanks.
yeah.
I'll take that.
See? That's it. Toot your own horn. That's right. And Terry said this is her favorite show. Thank you,
Oh,
Terry.
thanks, Terry.
That's the best.
Thank you so much.
So, well, you know, needless to say,
Yes.
you are a powerhouse badass bitch.
Well, thank you.
And you are
Really, I'm just Jill.
well, and that's what Jill is.
That's
so
what it
there
is.
you go.
Yeah.
And we are so grateful and so blessed that you stayed here after your today's special value.
I was honored to be asked.
Thank you. Really, really,
Thank
you dropped a lot of knowledge bombs.
Oh, wow.
You really did,
Thanks.
and we're so lucky to have you. So, first and foremost, I won't make you dance it out because you know we dance this show out.
Oh, okay.
We can chair dance it.
All right.
I don't know if she can even hear the music, but we'll figure it out.
All right.
And guys, thank you so much for joining us for this Over 50 and Fabulous After Show. You know, this is my favorite thing in the whole wide world, is to share love with you, to share info, to share inspiration from inspirational people. And we're so grateful. So until next time, you know what I always say? I have a thing at the end. Here we go. I always say it. Remember, you're not too old, it's not too late, and your best days are ahead. Let's go.
Love it.
Love
Why
you
not you?
guys.